Go.
We are recording?
We are recording.
Okay. What was your reaction when you were informed of the new final schedule?
Deep breath.
How does simultaneously having to grade finals while teaching students affect your teaching capacity?
This week has been a lot more than I had originally thought it would be.
I think some were pleased with the additional time and some wanted the original schedule. It was hard to make everyone happy, but it was the best decision for the masses.
So it's a little stressful to have, to be doing so many things at one time. It was some late nights, some weekends.
On days where finals were held until 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Granted, I could have closed the door and said, hey, go away. I chose not to do that. I don't regret making that choice.
Having a check-in to catch our breath and reset, recalibrate, and figure out how we were going to approach it by having those extra couple of days ahead of time by starting on Thursday is what I appreciated most.
I was not crazy about it, but I accepted that it was best for students to have time with teachers before taking the finals, so I just flowed with it as best I could.
Negative 10 out of 10. Would not enjoy doing that again.
But I think more so, I think people are just tired. I'm tired.
What went well? What worked well? I don't know. We survived. We survived.
Pipes break at a house, you have to fix it, The school gets shut down for things, we gotta adjust.
As a teacher, I spent that time checking in with students who were in crisis and stressed, very high level of stress. I'd say I had between 6 and 8 people tell me that they were experiencing really difficult time emotionally, mentally.
It was an invitation to compassion, to understanding as much as we could where each of us was coming from. And I didn't feel like pushback from students either, so I felt like they were being compassionate towards me.
I took a grading day, but I still needed to have lesson plans ready. I had transfer students that were in my class experiencing their first day at LaSalle, and they had a sub. That was hard for me. That's really hard for me. Without that grading day, it would not have been possible to get my grading done on time.
The challenge gave us a chance to be good to one another.
We saw how exhausted you were. I don't know if y'all saw how exhausted we were or not, or if we faked it really well, but I feel like we can, at least for me personally, I could see the exhaustion from y'all as well. Taking 7 tests in 4 days is a lot, and then boom, here we go, new semester.
I got to meet people's pets on Zoom. I liked that. That was fun.
I think it has some positive is that it's opened up some dialogue, between us and, just other teachers just talking about it, whether it's trying to talk about a possible different solution or just kind of venting.
What would you have changed about this plan, and what would you keep?
I have ideas that I think would be easier and would be better.
My suggestion for a plan is far more radical than adjusting for an ice week. I think we start school in early mid-August and we finish the semester before Christmas. Then we don't have to deal with any of this, because the way that climate works in the Pacific Northwest, January, February are far worse than November, December, as well as then we don't just have 3 random weeks.
So just start school earlier, end school earlier.
I taught in Utah. That's how we did it. It was nice. It's how every college ever does it. No one comes back from Christmas break and says, hey, remember all those things from beforehand? Now let's remember them for a final.
Just one day would have been really nice.
But I have confidence in our administration that they thought those ideas out as well and figured out that those probably are not the best for someone else. The ideas that I have are what would work better for me.
I think anytime you alter a schedule, it's really hard because people have such set ways, and me included. And so how do we make sure that folks are being heard?
I think the administration did as best they could with what was in front of them. I mean, you couldn't pay me enough to make those kinds of decisions.
I think if I had hindsight, I would have put a teacher workday in. But again, it was hard to anticipate that the quick turnaround and all of that. We didn't know what else was coming, and we still don't know what else is coming. It's still winter. We could still anticipate some snow.
I was as prepared as I could be for it, and I still had confidence enough that the administration was going to do what's supposed to happen, and so I wouldn't change anything.
I think if we anticipate any more weather, we would definitely put in a digital learning structure. So I think we would have make sure that everyone is equipped. But again, we would have to be responsive to needs because people didn't have power, people didn't have internet. So I think it just depends on what kind of incident we would have to close school.
Even if people put on that they're okay, there's still things beneath the surface, and sometimes it's forced to the surface when our plans are changed and our expectation, or things that we are expecting don't come in the exact way.
Advice you'd give to students or teachers, or
Yeah. Find a way to reflect and exhale. It's really, really important.
Okay, that is last of my questions.
Okay,
So
great.
thank you.
Thank you. That was easy.